Welcome to Kit Plus. Today we have three incredibly entertaining guests for you, so make sure you hang around and have a look at this one. Well, welcome to this week's edition of Kit Plus. As I said before, it's going to be an entertaining show. We have three entertaining guests with us. Starting at the end, we have Chris Waddington from Newtek. Hi, Chris.
Hi, nice to be here.
In the middle, no longer being attacked by a tree because we've given it a prune, we have Andy Slightham from TallyHo. Hi, Andy.
Nice to meet you, thank you.
And right next to me, my namesake, Jon Hilton from Portaprompt. Hi, Jon.
Hi, how are you?
I sit next to people with the best names, so hence the reason Jon and Jon. Gents, we're going to be having a general discussion about studios and where things are going, and of course you each produce a piece of kit that is very relevant to running a live broadcast. Chris, obviously you guys from Newtek produce the Tricaster. Andy, you have the TallyHo system, and we'll go into that in a little bit in a minute. And of course, Jon from Portaprompt, you have your prompters. Let's start with the prompting side of things. We'll go kind of down the chain, ending up at the Tricaster. Prompting's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And people have probably seen massive, great big prompters with old CRTs underneath and a kit running them. Not necessarily the case anymore, is it?
Well, still a fundamental part
Yes.
of the business, but I think what's interesting for me, I think this isn't just about the prompting technology, it's about the whole thing. If you look now, putting a little studio together is actually a very cost-effective sort of solution today. Products like the new Tricaster stuff, very cost-effective cameras and so on, recording devices really has opened up, I think, made the universe potentially bigger for people wanting to produce video in a professional way. Now, the prompting stuff, the traditional sort of broadcast systems and so on are great, but they're probably not that cost-effective. So the advent of sort of tablet-based technologies is really opening up the door and providing a level of professionalism in prompting. And I think, again, to me, it's not just about the technology, it's about what you get back from it. So if you're able to show a program maker that they can save costs by getting 10 takes down to 5 takes, because the talent can read it, or they can get that level of professionalism, and certainly in corporates, I spent quite a long time of my career at Sony. We were producing in-house videos, fantastic product managers, but when they read script, they weren't necessarily, and you lost that natural piece and so on. So just getting them back in, getting the amount of sort of takes down to a reduced bit, frankly, it saved me money and gave me a level of professionalism. So what we've got here is, in addition to our existing broadcast workflows and so on, it's using a tablet-based system. Add your tablet, download an app. We recommend using Apple. And there's a £15 download that we recommend called Portaprompt. And then essentially with this new rig that we've got, we've had tablet-based prompting for some time. You use the systems yourself. So this is a new rig just working on 15mm bars. Very cost-effective, under £600. And then we've got some flexibility in it as well, which allows us to give sort of the end user an upgrade path. So I can use this also, I've got behind me a little micro prompt, as we call it. These are used on Jimmy Jibs or Steadicams. It gives me the ability to actually go through the lens rather than over lens system. Hooking this into a VGA fed, either from us WinDigi or AutoScript Win Plus system. So I can rig that on this structure. I can put up to a 12-inch conventional monitor on it. And then something I think that's quite neat, and I'm trying to work out in my own mind, guys, I mean, give me some feedback here of whether this is just a sort of a gimmick or so on. But it's called the Interatron, and it comes from the 1980s, an American guy, Chris Morris, who was working with small children, wanted a piece to camera, wanted to maintain that eye line, all important and so on. The kids would be, if they saw the camera, they all thought they were on the telly, and you weren't getting that natural performance from them. So he quite simply, and this is what we do with this, is you rig, I take the sort of the mirroring part of it, I turn it into a 90-degree thing, I rig it on the bars, and essentially, I don't know if we're going to be able to make this work, but let me see if I can. So if we assume looking at camera, you can see me, my head. I don't know if this is being picked up in camera. But
Yep,
it allows
yep,
you to do
yep.
reflection-based... No, hang on, let's see if I can catch that properly.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go. So I can see my face and I can have a natural conversation. So this is rigged on the camera, 45, well, let me put it right way around, 45 degrees.
Yeah.
So we can do a piece to camera.
Yep.
Yeah, if someone is reading like a robot,
Yep.
it means I can actually have a natural conversation. The enthusiasm, the passion comes through.
Yeah.
Maintain the eye line. So it's quite a neat little production trick. And I think, again, as we take it on board with all the sort of more cost-effective solutions we've got, there's the broadcast workflow, sure, but this is actually opening up opportunities, and it's giving that gloss and production value
Absolutely.
that I think is really,
Increasing
in my mind, is
quality,
so
yeah.
important for whoever you are.
Yeah.
And I think, again, the stuff that you guys are making and so on is really adding to it. So it's all the bits and pieces. It reminds me a bit of sort of the early days of non-linear. So non-linear really saw the benefit of it. But what made non-linear flow was there were also cheap Betacam VTRs that you could feed into it. So the whole workflow came together. It wasn't just one technology on its own. And that's what I think is really quite interesting and exciting with what the other guys are doing as well. So, Portaprompt 365, buy it now. Sorry, that's my entertaining bit, all right?
Half price Wednesday.
I mean, it's fair to say I've used Portaprompt kit before, partly because of the quality of the kit as well. I mean, it's not a cheaply manufactured piece of metal with a not so great piece of glass in front of it, stuck on some bars.
We're
This is
very much around
quality.
what I call British engineering quality and so on. We've been doing this since the sort of the early 70s.
So it's completely student-proof.
Well, let's hope so.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a deal.
And also we take a view of it, so like we ship the product with a second piece of glass and so on. So it's really trying to sort of work out how it's going to be used. But I've seen some systems that are a bit plastically, they fall apart.
Yeah.
What I love about this, and this is why we talk about the Apple as well, is there's this little control from a company called Teleprompting Techniques.
Yeah.
And this gives me, you can't really see it on the camera here, but if I do it quickly, But it gives me really professional control. A lot of the systems I've seen are step, 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 up the script, step, 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 down the script. This gives me really professional control, as I would expect on a system.
And it is really important to have smooth control over a prompter.
Totally,
the amount of times you see a prompter system and it's going like this,
Well,
and you want that just to be
it's
fine control.
back to the basics, is that you want your talent to be in charge of the script, not the script to be in charge of your talent.
But it's smooth enough for the talent to operate it.
Absolutely, And I've had a couple of people going, "Oh, I love it, but I don't want the wireless bit." So there's another way of doing it, is that you actually Bluetooth two devices. So you could have your PA actually rolling the script on a separate. That's then Bluetooth to the header.
You could do that on your phone with your PA
absolutely.
and your iPad on your screen.
So you hook up and
you don't need two iPads.
You stick the glue.
Why don't you borrow yours then, Chris?
You stick the glue into the phone, and then you've
go.
got that remote. And actually, for a portable system, and I'm seeing a number of broadcasters are using this. Not for the traditional studio stuff, but it's for that location-based news insert. I'm on Prestatyn Beach, and instead of doing 5 takes, I just read it. I've got my tablet and so on. So it's really adding value in that end of it as well.
And it really does open it up, because people are going to be looking at this thinking, oh, I've got an iPad. I can get this now, and I've got the brains of the prompter you already own.
You've got the expensive bit.
And you just want the quality glass and the quality manufacturing and the unit to put it all together and fit and work nicely with the software and the control. And it's all there. Brilliant, John. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
We might come back to you in a minute on that. As we've got Andy here, who's sitting in the middle.
Yeah, well...
No longer being attacked by a plant.
No, well,
you have to watch the others to understand this.
I was actually going to come on from this again. This is a product that's actually been developed by the ground up.
Yeah.
Okay, which is kind of where I'm coming from, and kind of where Chris is coming from as well, I think, to a point. There's so many manufacturers, the big boys, they sit in their offices, they make something they think we want, then they try and sell it to us and market it to us, and then we try playing with it, and then we find all the holes in it and all the bits in it, and then we end up with a nearly but not quite and an almost product. Whereas people develop from the ground upwards, it works, and that's where that's come from.
Very
and
much so.
hopefully, I've come from the same, the same thing. When we all had CCUs and OCPs, it was great. We didn't need tele because it was built in, and it was lovely. And then a whole generation of us lost it about 8, 9, 10 years ago. Today's students might not necessarily miss it because they never had it.
Right.
But when they've seen it, they'll think, "Wow, that's an amazing idea," and realise it's something that we lost. And so when all the new vision mixers came in, things like Tricaster, etc., HDSDI cables in, that's great, but you lose your telly. And there was no way around it. There was no other excuse. So I decided to make my own. At the time, I was broadcasting live events, and so I really needed it. Developed it over 5 years. and then decided that flight cases were getting heavy. I was getting old, didn't want to hump them about anymore.
Yeah.
So I'd go into
We
manufacture.
felt the same as well. That's what we
Yeah, you see, you got smaller.
Yeah.
No, that works. That works. And then, luckily enough, you see, my allegiance with Tricaster, I was picked up by 3D Storm, and they've got their own Live Expert range of Tally now, which I make for them. So the Live Expert range is being sold and distributed all over Europe and China and Middle East and everywhere. And we've got 2 versions. I mean, I won't go on forever because obviously you can look it up on the internet, but we've got a wired version for someone who's got a studio with cables already laying down.
Yep.
Don't mind running some Cat 5, Cat 6, straight out, powered. Little transmitter sits on the top of the camera. So you get a red on the front and a red and green on the back to show program if your Vision Mixer gives it. Then we've got the wireless version, which is this one. So you've got a little aerial on there, 150 metres range, and you can have up to 8 of these little receivers again, red and green, and they're all wireless, sit on the top. And then we've got the Studio Viewfinder version, which is wireless or can be wired.
Yep.
And that just gives you, funnily enough, a blade. Most people are familiar with the blade now.
Yep.
So you've got a blade in a case, basically. It's the cheapest way of getting an HD screen in a
Yes.
viewfinder. You know.
I guess it is.
And
yeah.
ProRes ISO recording
Yeah,
as well.
and it records in the viewfinder, and you know, Tally front and back, and then we've got extension LEDs, you know, which you can put in your viewfinder and put on your jib for your Steadicam, and you know everything else. Literally tried to come across every single issue, problem that you could possibly have.
Yep.
But I welcome more if anyone can come up with another one.
So I'm just going to look at the the radio versions, the RF versions of
Yeah.
these. Frequency-wise, how does that work?
Well, at the moment we're on 433,
Yep.
which is license free.
Yep.
We are going to be doing an 866 version as well,
Right.
which will give us more range.
Yep.
And using telemetry chips, we can do near 2.5 miles, which will be a new product for the new year. At the moment, we've never had any problem with 433. It's great. Some versions of wireless talkback, that, funny enough, are on 1.9 gigahertz. 1900 megahertz, they're nowhere near 433, but they
sub-frequency,
do
don't they?
interfere.
Yeah.
And there's various sidebands that the manufacturers, they don't take enough care when they manufacture their product. It's a wireless product, whatever, it doesn't matter. And they start putting out spurious signals, and some of those can hit the 433 band.
Right.
And we did have an instance where channel 1 of our 8 channels available has received interference before now. So I just don't use channel 1, I just keep mine on channel 8, and I've never
Yep.
had a problem. And we've shipped them all over the world, and we've never had interference problems anywhere other than, you know, people's talkback.
Yeah.
So, so for those who might not know how this interface, so they've got, let's say they've got a data video, or they've got a Tricaster, or they've got an ATEM, or something like that, and they want to put Tally on it.
Yeah.
Data video have a solution,
Yeah.
but they don't have a wireless solution.
Yeah.
How do you connect this up to your?
Everybody's Vision Mixer, no matter who you are,
Yep.
except the new Sony Anycast, it doesn't have a Tally port. It's
Lovely.
the first one in the world not to have one. Everybody else does. You've got either a 9-pin or a 15-pin connector on the back, or a 25-pin in
Yep.
the case of the big Sonys. Tricaster's 15-pin HD. And you just go 15-pin HD to 9-pin,
Yep.
and the wireless receiver or the wired receiver is looking for an open and closed contact
Right.
between its earth and pin 1,
Yep.
2, 3, 4. The minute it sees open and closed contact, then it obviously knows that camera's live,
Yep.
sends a signal out to the receiver, red light. We've got a preview bus, which is a green. So
Okay.
if you've got a mixer which gives you preview,
So,
you
like,
connect your
yep.
preview bus up, and that'll
Yep.
give you a green light on the back.
Yep.
The Tricaster is very unique in as much as it produces a voltage instead of open closed contact. And we also produce, for Tricaster users, a little converter box which you plug in the back of a Tricaster, and it converts its plus or minus 5 volts
To
to
GPI.
open close contact.
Gotcha.
And if you want to do that and you want to run your Tricaster on normal CCUs,
Yep.
then that's the way forward. And once again, they're available through your local dealer.
Brilliant. So if people wanted to, let's say they've got a Tricaster or an ATEM or data video and they want to connect one of these up, can you guys provide the cabling as well?
Yeah, we can provide all the cabling. And in fact, on the wired version, this is on the Live Expert wired version, you've actually got Tricaster in and Tricaster out.
Okay.
You've got specific Tricaster ports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
So,
have the,
yeah, because there's actually one of the converters inside here,
Yeah.
which converts it. And it also gives you open and close contact out. So if you want to go wired and to a CCU, you can do the best.
that, yeah.
And that's only on the Live Expert range. I don't do that on my TallyHo range at all. That's just an extra for Live Expert, which once again, your local dealer can fill you in on that.
Brilliant. So we can talk into a camera. We know which camera we need to talk into.
Yep.
And then we need to switch these cameras out and actually produce a show. And
That's where we come from.
that's probably about where you guys come in. Yeah, you can
We've got to cover everything.
Go on,
else.
Chris, take it away.
now.
You've got to be the entertainment. We've done the talk.
Actually, no.
And we mentioned Tricaster all the way through this
We have,
show
yes,
today,
yeah.
and we have one here, and this is the new Mini.
This is the new Minute, yes.
This is our TV studio gallery in a box, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Well, you know, we've always produced. Tricaster has been around a long time in
Yep.
various guises. You know, we've had lots of different models, and they've always really been aimed at professionals
Yep.
or people coming from a professional background that want to be able to produce live content. But as you said, that the industry's changing, price points are coming down. People don't necessarily have the budget to do full OB trucks or full broadcast galleries anymore, but they want to communicate. Ultimately, you just want to communicate. You want to
storytelling.
you want,
Yeah,
exactly. You want to tell a story.
absolutely.
You want to get your message out, and you want it to be as engaging as possible. And to do that, you need to have high production value, which of course is why Tally is important, and obviously it's why prompting is important. And so we've been doing this for many, many, many years, and the reason why obviously we have the new Tricaster Mini is to make a solution that is super compact and very accessible to people that don't actually now have any production experience. So, from people that are, in corporate and enterprise, potentially houses of worship, government, medical, education, where they just want to communicate, but they don't necessarily want to understand the production process. I don't even necessarily want to understand the production process, but they still know they want to communicate and create some great looking content. And yes, we've got some very high-end Tricasters up to the 8,000, professional 19-inch rack mount units, SDI in and SDI out, pro audio inputs and outputs, and a ton of different features. This is kind of this is a different product for us. It's still a Tricaster, so it still carries all of that heritage and all of that engineering and all of that experience that we've had in production, but it really packages it into a much smaller and compact form factor. So you can see here I've got the Mini, so it really is Mini. So and on this unit itself, we've got a built-in screen on the front, which is great. You don't have to necessarily carry another monitor around. I mean, you still need a screen for the interface, but if you want to watch what your output's going to be, or you want just a monitor to feed back to the talent, you have that built into the unit. And then on the side of the unit, you can see here we've got HDMI inputs and we've got HDMI outputs. And so we're not using professional video I/O, but for anyone that wants to communicate, they're going to have a camera that's going to have HDMI. Nearly every single camera nowadays has HDMI.
You can get HDSDI to HDMI converters for £200.
I mean, it doesn't preclude people from converting. But I mean, to be honest, if you have SDI, then you probably want to go for one of the Pro models because you've got some additional features in there. You've got the Pro Audio I/O as well. But yeah, you could if you wanted to, convert. But we've got on this particular unit, we've got 4 HDMI inputs. We've got 2 HDMI outputs, which are totally independent. So you can send different things out of the different both HDMIs. And then we've got some audio in and we've got some audio out. And then really, once you've got all of your content in there, it's really just a case of obviously producing our show. And we don't exclude people from getting stuff like from computer devices and tablet devices. We have ways and means of getting that into their show. And then, of course, you want to, as you said, you want to switch the show. You want to do professional graphics. You want to do really sexy-looking transitions. You may want to record the show. You might want to stream it to an online audience. You may want to, I mean, nowadays people are consuming content on social media. Your phone buzzes while you're on the bus or the train or whatever else it is, and there's a little video, and you watch that little video, and then you want to click. To view the live stream, and instantly you're there. So you need to be able to get content out to lots of different devices and platforms and just have that global audience, and that's what the Tricaster can do.
And a few weeks ago, we've done a show a bit more in depth with this.
We did, yeah.
So go and have a look at that if you want to find out more about the Tricaster Mini. But what I'm seeing here is systems whereby before you would need a 7.5 tonne truck to go out and do an OB, whereby you can literally rock up with your OB truck, your prompters, wireless tally without even having to think about having to plug things in, and even the quality of consumer cameras now is stunning.
You say everything's getting so much smaller. We were doing a gig when I had my production company. We were doing a gig at the Grosvenor House every year, and it was a 4-camera multi-camera shoot, and we started doing it with a 7.5 tonner in and out. And we did it last week with a car boot. Same gig. Including projectors. Oh, that's that's just the way it's all gone.
And it's just opened up to everybody now. They've got iPads, they can get the prompter. They can think, right, Tally would just make life so much easier. 4 cameras. I mean, 2 cameras, and without a tally, where am I looking?
Yeah.
And that's what gives you that high quality production
you
feel.
production
The
value,
fact that the person goes straight through and looks at the right camera.
Yeah. It's
not.
true. It's all about the craft of creating TV.
Yeah, and that
You know.
craft bit, to me, is the
Yeah.
all-important
And that's really
aspect.
important.
of
I
it.
mean,
Yeah,
honestly, I'm a sucker for buying stuff. So,
Yep.
you know, I've got a shed. In my shed, I've got all the tools. I go to various hardware stores. Again, I'm not going to mention them, but you know, and I always go and buy something new.
Yep.
So I've got all the tools. I can't build anything. Do you know what I mean? So you do have to understand that craft, you know, and go through the process. But it's easier to do that now. The tools are there and the process is there to make it easier. And we are all television experts.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, and I think I said this on
We're
the
getting
on
old.
the
We've been
mini
around
video.
too long.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
No.
some of us have.
So I was going to say, but you know, the thing is,
Measured by the waistline, you know.
even though we are, you know, the people that watch content are as well, because they watch TV every single day.
Yeah.
And people know when something looks good and something looks bad. They might not know why it looks bad, but they just know it doesn't look like television. And as you said, it's going to be, you know, which camera am I looking at? You know, do I have a script? In which case, or am I going and having to look down at paper all the time? All of those things, it takes away from that polish. And you know, all of our equipment here today really ups that. You know,
Yeah,
it
adds
puts
to that.
it
Yeah,
adds
it's the
to that
production value.
It is.
Really is.
Yeah.
It's all important. Yeah.
Brilliant, guys. We're coming to an end, but let's quickly talk about the tour that's going to be coming up in November. You're going to be on it.
Yeah, we're only at the London venue,
Yep.
unfortunately, but I'm trying to sort something out to help us on Manchester. But the trouble is, we've got too busy a day. We're doing The Voice, we're doing Children in Need on the 13th. Yeah, but really looking
Excuses,
forward to the
excuses,
tour.
The
Oh,
Voice.
if only.
But if people want to come and see this kit, this is the place to come and see it, and they can start to get their hands on this equipment and have a play around with it and see just how good it is. I haven't got I'm on that one. I need a TallyHo system. The tour is on the 11th and 13th of November. We're going to be in London on the 11th, and we're going to be in Manchester on the 13th. And you will be able to get your hands on the actual kit itself and have a look and just see how good it is. And with the Mini, see how small it is. It's just ridiculous.
It's amazing. It really is.
Come and have a play. Make sure you get yourself signed up. The website I'm just looking at now, it'll be on screen, but it's tvbayshow.com/tour. Get yourself signed up so we know you're coming. It helps. And go and have a look, either London or Manchester on the 11th and 13th, and come and have a look at some of this amazing kit. There'll be others as well. Get your hands on and see how you can put yourself together a high quality production. High quality, low cost. That's it.
Magic ingredient. Yeah.
In the meantime, guys, look, thank you very much.
That's right.
It's
Thanks
been
for having us.
fascinating
Thanks,
talking to you
pleasure.
and looking at this. I'm going to quickly go through each one of you. John, if people want to find out about Portaprompt and your prompter range, what's the website?
www.portaprompt.co.uk.
Brilliant.
Or check out the TV Bay side, because we've got all the links and so on from the magazine.
We like the plug. Thank you very much. Andy, TallyHo.
Speak to your local dealer. If
Yep.
you don't have any luck there, call me direct. TallyTechnologies.com.
TallyTechnology.com. Chris, it's been up a number of times before,
has
but
indeed.
let's go for it. Where can they find out about the Tricaster range?
You can just go to our website, which is www.newtek.com.
Brilliant. Chris. Guys, thank you very much.
Brilliant.
Really appreciate you coming
Thank
on.
you.
Thanks.
Go and have a look at all their websites. The links were on screen and they'll be on the webpage as well. And of course, we're doing other videos as well. We're trying to get these out much more regularly, so you have a whole range of videos to watch of all different types of subjects. There is the one we did a couple of weeks ago on the Tricaster Mini. Please make sure you go and have a look at that. It's fascinating. And we will keep these coming out to you, and you'll find those on our website, which of course is KITPLUS.com. So make sure you go there and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's la-di-la-di-la, you know everything. In the meantime, that's it from us here at the KITPLUS Studios. We will see you next time. Thank you.